I got a kick out of an ad over on NHL.com, and the headline reads: "Winter Classic quote will go on as planned with severe cold weather expected." Was there any doubt that this was going to get canceled, even in cold, where COVID can even last in climates of freezing cold temperatures? Was there any doubt that we were going to ever cancel this game?
No, Bane could interrupt this game and they would still play this game.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, welcome to the Locked On Avalanche podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, Chris Maselli. Joining me, as always, Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. Thank you for making this your first listen of the day. That is always appreciated. Kyle, on today's show, we will be discussing, there's not a ton going on in Avalanche world right now because, we can't seem to get back out on the ice, but hopefully we will this weekend. But we will discuss the World Juniors being canceled because that's kind of a big deal. We will also discuss another moment for each of us from the 2021 year in full that we really enjoyed. And although we are a hockey podcast, there's some things that, transcend sports and cross over into other sports. And John Madden passing away is definitely one of those things. So we are, me not as much anymore, gamers. We used to be huge into it. But we'll discuss that as well, Mr. John Madden. Other than that, we'll see what else comes up. But first things first, follow the show social media outlets, LOPN_Avalanche on Twitter, Locked On Avalanche on Instagram. Send questions, comments, concerns, and your favorite moments of the year to lockedonavalanche@gmail.com. And follow us on our YouTube channel over on the YouTube. Here we are. All right, man. So, in the open on YouTube, I asked about the Winter Classic. We were saying like, there's no way that they're going to cancel this season beyond January 1st because they want to get this game in. And I got a kick out of that headline over on NHL.com saying like it's supposed to be sub-zero temperatures there.
Yeah.
And the headline was the Winter Classic will go on as planned. Like any of us really thought it was going to get canceled.
No. I was seeing like they were talking, it's going to be like -13. And
is that how low it's going to go? Oh,
yes.
My God.
And I can't remember who said it, but his quote was, "We just got to skate harder." And I was like, you guys, I'm telling you, like this game could be flipped upside down. They could have the sun melt the ice and they would put floaties on them and make them finish this game. There is no way this game was going to get canceled.
So let's see. And this is a night game too.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't most Winter Classics in the afternoon? They're
I
always in
so.
the afternoon. They're always like a 1 o'clock game.
Like kind of like a late afternoon. I know the Heritage Classic games usually are like late night.
Yeah.
But I think Winter Classics are always, about
I
like noonish.
I find it interesting that they're playing this one 7 p.m. Eastern. So at 6:30 Eastern Tuesday, the forecast called for a high of -3 and a low of -15 on Saturday. So there you go. Have fun, Minnesota Wild and St. Louis Blues. Because you're playing this game. Don't think that you're getting out of it. So you wanted it, you got it. Minnesota in January is super fun.
I'm not shedding a tear for either one of those teams right now. So
no. Some people we might be shedding a tear for are the teenagers of multiple countries because a sudden and shocking kind of announcement that the IIHF completely canceled the World Juniors. I don't think anybody saw this coming. Obviously, Team USA had their game canceled the other day. And I think another game, I think like a Russia game.
I think it was the game. The Czechs.
That game got canceled. From what I understand, I haven't read too much into this. From what I understand, there's only 4 known cases of it in the entirety of the tournament. There could be more, but if that's it, they just had 4, and they pulled the trigger on the thing and they pulled the rug out from it, and this thing is done. I could not believe what I was reading. I had to read it over again, thinking like, are they talking about another tournament that's going on
Yeah.
in another part of the globe? But no, I don't know if they got spooked, if they got scared, and they were like, this is just going to get worse. Let's just call it now. I was shocked.
I think we're shocked because we have dealt with so many crazy things in the NHL of like positive tests and protocols, and you keep going and you keep going and you keep going. And then it's just starting to rear its ugly head in the juniors, and they just immediately, I think it was just, yeah, it was the United States and the Czech were the only ones that were reporting positives. And instead of, isolating, quarantining, and testing again the next day, they just completely pulled the plug on what was a very entertaining tournament.
Oh, it always is. I mean, I always look forward to this thing. And what did it start on Monday?
Mm-hmm.
First games were on Monday, and to just, I mean, there is a lot that goes in to planning this thing. You know what I mean? And you have all of these young kids coming from all over the globe into Canada. There's a lot that goes into planning this thing. And then after 4 days, you're just like, no, like it's all over. I feel bad for so many people, for so many of the people that get these games in order, get the planning in order, get all the flights in order, and go right all the way down right to the players themselves. Because the one thing that you're hearing a lot of, and it's right, is this is for a lot of guys, this is their Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
They don't go beyond this. A handful of them do. Let's not kid ourselves. But at least for a lot of guys, they get to brag about this experience for the rest of their lives. And they're not going to have it in full. They're going to say
Yeah.
like, we got to go, but it was never completed.
And the thing that really sticks out to me, and I'd be remiss to continue this conversation without mentioning this, they didn't even give the women's game a shot. They went ahead and
Yeah, man.
they canceled that right out of the gate. And like, I'm a huge supporter of the women's game, PHF fanatic. Like, I'm a huge supporter of that. And for
Yeah.
them to not even give the women a shot to even have their tournament, and then to pull the plug out of the men's tournament so early into it, I think it softens the blow of the women not getting to compete as well. But if the men's side would have went all the way through, I think that would have been very talking up both sides of your mouth, and it just
Yeah.
did not sit well with me, and it was hanging over me watching every game of the juniors so far.
If the men's went all the way through and they were having problem after problem, and
Mm-hmm.
they were kind of having to do what the NHL was doing, how I was saying, like, plug holes everywhere, and you went to the bitter end with it, and yeah, and you told the women, like, we're not even going to start your tournament, that it was a bad look anyway.
Yeah.
Let's not kid ourselves. It's bad luck that you did that to begin with. But did that come into play at all here? I have no idea. But I was shocked that they just saw a few players going to the protocol or whatever their protocol is, and they went above that and were just like, no, let's just shut the whole thing down. I really was very shocked that they had done it that quickly.
And it's a lot of the same points that we were talking about with the Olympic conversation yesterday. It's the last time a lot of these kids get to play for their country in the juniors and possibly chase that medal. So
Yeah,
I mean, it's sad to see, but IIHF, you gotta love them.
yeah,
Sarcastically.
yeah. But but yeah, and like you said, there was already a lot of good moments in
Yeah.
this tournament, and for Avalanche fans, you had Oscar Olausen looking very strong in that first game, and then you had I don't remember what his name is on the Canadian
Connor
team.
Bedard.
Get the hat trick, right? First one since Gretzky. These tournaments are always good for feel good moments and feel good stories, and what the United States did last year, you wanted to see them follow that up, and it's
And
sad that it's
the jerseys were on point for the United States.
they were good.
They were
good.
very good.
Better than the Olympic ones.
Ain't that the truth?
By far. So I don't know. It's kind of just where we're at. Feel bad for everybody, because this is a tournament that everybody looks forward to,
Yeah.
and even the fans that make plans to go see this thing.
Parents.
Yeah. I mean, we know how hockey parents are. So
yeah.
Crazy. So hopefully we can have it back in full next year.
I heard they might reschedule for the summer.
I've heard that rumor. I don't know. Maybe they will. If they do, cool. I'll watch it, obviously. But I just feel like the luster is lost at this point.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's hear from Primal Origin Oils, and then Kyle and I will get into another moment that we liked from the year 2021. But first, you got a beard? Then you better get Primal. You heard me right. If you got a beard, you better get Primal. If you are someone that you care about has a beard, it needs to get Primal. Maybe you are that guy. I know I am that guy who, in the past, I never considered the benefits of treating your beard with product. Once I did, opened up a whole new world for me. And because I was literally like, when I first like decided to grow a beard, you get the itchiness and scratchiness and like the dry skin underneath. And I'm like, I don't want this. I'm probably going to shave it off. And then a friend of mine told me about putting product in your beard, like with beard oils and beard balms. Overnight, it got better. And that's what Primal Origin Oils can do. It will stop the itch and make your beard look healthy and groomed. The products are free from harmful synthetic ingredients and with a low impact on our planet. Primal Origin Oils makes balms, oils, and whipped butters that are renowned as the best feel in beard products available. All our products are fair trade certified and handcrafted in the USA. And the combo kit will make a great gift at any point during the season. Obviously, we're past the holidays, but I'm sure have somebody that has a birthday coming up. Makes a great birthday gift if you're shopping for someone like me. My birthday's in February, just
January.
So you know. Oh, you're in January. January what?
17th.
Okay, February 27th over here. Which, after this ad, I will tell you a fun fact about February 27th.
Ooh.
So get a combo kit because you will be glad that you did. Finally, go over to primaloriginoils.com and use that promo code locked on. It gets you 20% off at checkout. Once again, primaloriginoils.com. Locked on is the promo code, and you get 20% off of your order. All right, yeah. So February 27th. It is the longest, tied for. I think there's another month. It is tied for the longest syllabled date on the calendar.
February 27th.
Oh, that's right. That is right.
Wow.
Some useless information for you.
That's some distinction, my friend.
Oh yeah. So, having said that, we will move right on in because I mean, nothing is going to be more exciting than that. Maybe our moments from another moment that we're going to talk about for the year 2021 is I went first yesterday. I'll throw it over to you to go first today, which, by the way, if you didn't listen to yesterday's, go back and listen to that because we have some good moments in yesterday's episode. But today, start us off.
Well, in 2021, a moment that stood out to me was not on February 27th. This was on 12/12/21. The Colorado Avalanche faced off against the Florida Panthers in a wonderful game. And the game stood out to me because Andre Burakovsky got his hat trick.
Yeah.
And for anyone who's listened to the show for a while, it's something we always talk about when we talk about Berkey is like if he can just enact himself and like get himself motivated in the game, he's a sniper. He can put it in the back of the net. And to see that emotion when he finally gets that hat trick and see that whole team celebrate him with him against a very formidable team, like he didn't just get a hat trick. That win was on his back.
Yeah.
And to see that win and that hat trick and the team bonding, like up until this COVID pause, that was really the origins of this Avalanche streak and this team and cohesion that we were working on until the pause. So that moment really stood out to me. And it was something as a fan watching Burakovsky, something you've always wanted him to get. And to finally watch him get it was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was, that's why I'm looking forward to this Toronto game.
Yeah.
Because the first time they played Florida, it was early in the season. It was their first road trip of the season. It was a short road trip. It was still a road trip. And they didn't look good. And Florida came out to a hot start. on the season and against them, and they dominated that game. So I was looking forward to that because you wanted redemption, you wanted to give them payback, and they're one of the best teams in the league. And if you are going to make the Stanley Cup final, they are a very real possible opponent that you're going to go up against. And you're right, man. That game was just from beginning to end. That was a playoff Stanley Cup type of game. And they said it after it was over. Like I would take that series.
Yeah.
Unbelievable from start to finish. Just a great, like, fair, fought out hockey game.
Yeah.
Just awesome. And yeah, and then everybody kind of is always really still watching our goalie situation. And I think with Burakovsky definitely stole the show with his hat trick. But Kemper, I thought he needed to come up big at the end because the Avs, I think Mikko Rantanen took a pretty silly penalty towards the end of that one, and then they pulled the goalie. So now you got 6-on-4. He had to come up big. He did that. And we were talking before we went live, like, you started to feel good about this Avalanche team after that game. And you're like, now we're hitting our stride. Now we're legit. Now we're a force.
Yeah.
Because we beat a team like that and we played that type of game. Excellent game.
Yeah, that was one of those points where you start to believe in Kemper and how we started the season, like winning against Chicago, losing against St. Louis, and like the back and forth, like losing against teams you shouldn't. Like this was our first fully formed like Avalanche team, and you started believing in Kemper and where everybody was going, and the team started believing in it too, and you could see it in that reaction of that hat trick.
Yeah, great pick. For me, it was playoffs last season, I guess, and game 1 of the playoffs against the St. Louis Blues. And you could tell that the Blues were wanting to make this a physical game, and the Avalanche were, that was the one rub on them last year, was they were not physical enough. And I think they were. I've always said they're not a team that's just going to roll over and die. They're not going to go seek you out, but if you want to bring it to them, they will stand up for themselves. And that was evident about 10 minutes in. The Blues are flying all over the place. They're targeting Mikko Rantanen, and they did it one too many times. And Gabe Landeskog had enough. Yeah. And he took Braden Shen, and he made Braden Shen think twice about ever messing with anybody, maybe in the entire NHL, ever again. Not only was it just a complete beatdown of a fight, Connor McGahey had one of the best radio calls for that fight ever. So much so that I made it, and it still is the ringtone for my phone. And I put it out there, and so many people messaged me saying, "Can you send that to me?" So I think there's another like 20 or 30 people out there that have, unless they've changed it since then, have the Connor McGahey fight call between Braden Shen and Gabe Landeskog as their ringtone, as do I. And that set the tone for that series. You are not going to mess with us. If you do, we have no problem just shoving your face right into the ice.
Yep.
And it was a sweep. And then for that game, Landeskog came back out, and I think he had 3 points. I think he had a goal and 2 assists in that game. So it wasn't just like, I'm going to set the tone that you're not going to mess with us. I'm also going to carry our team because I'm the captain. So I loved that. And the Avs went on to completely decimate Jordan Binnington and the Blues as a whole. 4-game sweep.
And you can honestly say, I don't think the Blues have recovered from that.
Do you want to give all the credit to Gabe Landeskog? Like,
I honestly, I feel like, because if you're looking at from that moment, like St. Louis has not been the same St. Louis team that you know. They are losing really bad games in really bad ways. Binnington's not the same guy. And you can also say, in the fact of Gabe Landeskog, like taking control in a physical way, he carried that over also into this season. Like he started out that way.
He's having a quietly sneaky, very good season. That us in Avalanche world are like, yeah, like that's what he does. But he's not like, around the league, people aren't like, oh my God, Gabe Landeskog's like playing incredible. No, he is. He
Yeah.
really, really. And when you have Kadri going off, when you have Cale Makar doing unbelievable things, and you have Gabe Landeskog continuing to be consistent in how he's playing, it doesn't get as much notification right now. So
yeah, that's a turning point for two different teams, like the Avalanche going more physical, because that's one of everybody from the outside looking in always likes to say the Avalanche don't play physical. That's
they do.
like, but they do,
They
and you
do.
don't, and it comes from people you don't think are
Right.
physical, and we know this. Like in the Burgundy and Blue, we understand that we are a physical team, and it's just carried through with our play this year from Landeskog and others. And like I said, I don't think the Blues have been the same since that
possible.
series.
Yeah. But no, like the Avs are a physical team when they need to be. They're not stupid with it. They just don't go throw themselves around just because.
Yeah.
But go look at the stats from the Vegas series. Yeah, they lost the series, but they were out hitting Vegas. Maybe not in the first couple of games, but I think the last two games they had something like 40 high 40s in hits.
And that's
don't tell me they're not a physical team. Like,
and that's pretty much par for the course. That's par for the course in every Avalanche game. We are doing really good in the checking and the hitting department. Like, everybody likes to think we just get out there and skate around people. We go through people as well.
Yeah, if we need to, we do. That's why I like this team, because they're well rounded in that. If it's a physical game, like, okay, then we'll square up and we'll play a physical game. We'll do that. If it's not a physical game, then we'll rely on our speed and our skill to be that way. So
exactly.
They got it all. So yeah, we will do this again tomorrow. I think we got one more day of looking back at 2021. So, but again, shoot us emails or get a hold of us on social media and let us know kind of your favorite memories from 2021. All right, Bet Online, and then we'll just bid adieu to Mr. John Madden. But Bet Online has you covered this holiday season with more prop bets, odds, and lines than ever before. The NFL season continues its march towards the playoffs, and the college bowl season is upon us. If they play a bowl game, a lot of them seem to be getting canceled. But the ones that are played, go ahead, bet on them. Bet Online remains your number one spot for all the sports action this season. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up, and you will receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code Locked On to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, the NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of the amazing offers available for the 2021 season, and BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your favorite sports. It's where the game starts. That's betonline.ag. So like I said in the beginning, there's some things that, even no matter what sport you're covering, and you heard it a lot. Like I listened to a lot of NHL radio on Sirius XM. If you're listening to just a hockey podcast like this one, I think like Elliot Friedman was talking about him on his show. Like there's things that just will cross boundaries and cross over into different sports. And John Madden was that dude. And I know, we're almost the same age, but I didn't know him as a head coach. I knew him more as the guy, as the commentator. And then obviously being a product of the 1980s, which made me a video game junkie in the 90s, everybody had Madden. Everybody did. And, that is now a for a lot of our listeners who maybe are like in the teens or early 20s, that's how they know him. Is through a video game, and it continues to be year in and year out one of the biggest sports game that's released, but everybody looks forward to it. Getting a Madden rating is like a thing. Like I get a kick out of all the players who get upset when the ratings come out. It's a big deal, and that's all John Madden. But his commentating was second to none. There was, think about it now, man. Like who do you really tune in for because of the announcer? You don't really do it that much anymore. And he was like, if he's calling a game and you didn't really care about the teams, you really would tune in because he was so funny and knowledgeable. He was one of a kind.
And the thing with John Madden, like there have been names like Howard Cosell, and you had your Keith Jacksons, like your legendary broadcasters,
Mm-hmm.
and they were known for being legendary in their role. John Madden was a whole different animal. Like he loved the game.
Mm.
He lived the game. He brought his coaching experience into the booth, and he transcended the sport he was in. That's why we're talking about it on a hockey podcast, because
Mm.
you could feel the man's love for the sport. Like the man was boom tough acting to acting,
Yeah.
and like he was famous because like he hated flying, so he had the Madden bus,
Mm-hmm.
and like he had just this persona, and like he started out with Pat Summerall and ended up with Al Michaels, like, and everywhere he went it was magic.
Yeah.
And when he spoke you listened, and it wasn't just idle fill in the time, fill in like dead air. When he spoke you listened, when he drew you paid attention.
Well, he
Like
was drawing everything.
he was drawing
Oh my
everything.
god, that
His love for Brett
telestrator.
Favre, it
Yeah.
like you listened to every bit of it, and like
Yeah.
it was a name. When it got onto a video game franchise, it was even more notoriety because it was connecting to a younger generation.
Yeah.
And he's been out of commentating for a while, but it's still a name that everybody knows. And when he
Yeah.
passed away, everybody had a memory, whether it's his coaching days, whether it's his commentary, whether it's the video game franchise, whether it's the acting commercials, the Frank Caliendo impersonations. Everybody knows of John Madden, and there's memories tied to that man. And yeah, he's the last of it. Like when you said, like, do you listen to an announcer? The only one I can even think of would be Jim Houston. I would tune in to Hockey Night in Canada broadcast just to listen to him. But
Mm-hmm.
other than that, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, there's guys that are very good. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Like there's excellent broadcasters right now, but he was just head and shoulders above everybody else. And the all Madden team, like at the end
Yes.
of towards the end of a football, like you tuned in to watch that. That was a
Yeah.
big deal. That was almost more of a big deal than getting like a Pro Bowl nod. Being an all Madden player.
And the turducken.
Yes, that was the next thing I was going to talk about. I was like doing the whole like turkey leg thing for
Yep.
Thanksgiving. That was you when the game was over, you didn't change the channel.
Yep.
You hung around to watch him give the Turducken Award, which is ridiculous to even say it out loud. But like he just made everything fun while being very knowledgeable on the sport at the same time. And I put it up on Twitter. He will be forever known as he called John Elway's last game.
Yeah.
Fox had the Super Bowl when it was the Broncos and the Atlanta Falcons, and it was him and Pat Summerall, and that was ended up being Elway's last game. John Madden called it, and you talked about Brett Favre, how he has this obsession. He had this obsession with Brett Favre. Did you? I mean, when Mike and Mike on ESPN was a thing, did you follow that whole thing? Like Mike Golick put together. It's probably up on YouTube. Mike Golick put together a reel. Every time Golick had either got a turnover, forced a fumble, or he had a couple of interceptions in his career, or recovered a fumble, and Madden had the call, he minimized it every single time. He gave the credit to somebody else, and Mike Golick was just like, yeah, he goes, I got used to it after a while, but he never gave me credit for anything. And I just thought about this as we're talking about him. I want to see if Golick posted anything about it, because Golick had fun with it. He didn't like despise Madden because of it. He had fun with it, but it's so true. He never gave Golick credit for any big play that he made. It's pretty fun.
And see, that speaks to John Madden, because players paying attention to what a broadcaster says about them. Like, who cares anymore? Like, if you're like, what did Madden say about me? Like, that's what you want. Yeah.
Big deal. Yeah. It's like the Pope like anointing you pretty
Exactly.
much almost. Yeah. How do they not put him on the cover for next year?
Oh, absolutely.
Don't
Madden
they have
23? It's just going to be just John Madden.
It's got to be. And he was the only person on the cover for the first, I don't know what,
up till
7, 8 years.
2000 was his last.
I think it was
cover.
2000 was his last one, and it started in 93, 94. Was it 92? Okay, so 8 years or so. He was the only one on the cover, and then when they started doing the players, then it became the Madden curse and everything, and
Eddie George being the first one, Titans fan over here.
There you go. And then when he kind of stepped away, you never really heard from him anymore.
Nope.
You know, he didn't. I think when he was done, and he put in his time, and he hung around home, and that was he put a career in. That's fine. Still kept his name on a video game because that will live in infamy, and that will just continue to go on, and people obviously love that game. So
he probably moved that bus right next to an Outback Steakhouse and retired happily.
Absolutely. So, thanks for the memories in so many ways, on the air and in the video game world. So, definitely will be a missed icon, even though he kind of went away from the limelight. He was still obviously a very, very big name. So,
oh yeah.
All right, everybody, that will wrap it up for today. But like we said, if you got a memory from the 2021 season, or even about John Madden, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can email us, lockedonavalanche@gmail.com, or find us on our social media outlets. That will be it for today. Thank you for making this your first listen of the day. Check out Locked On NHL for your second listen. A lot of talk going on of the World Juniors, so you're going to want to head over there and listen to everything that needs to be reported on with that whole thing. So that'll do it, man. We'll be back tomorrow, last one of the week. And then after that, we'll hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be talking about Avalanche hockey next week. But for now, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And that'll do it. He is Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. I am Chris Maselli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. See you guys tomorrow.